Guys, I had no idea how many stinky Santas there are. I really thought I was gonna be like, oh, all of them are perfect in their own special way. No, some of you guys suck at writing Santa. I didn't think it was a hard character to nail down. Not like, whoa, hey, whoa.
Your video tipping the show. I am.
Butt lovers, welcome back to the Ranking Things series. Last year, I ranked holiday specials, but my look was more appropriate for this one. Anyway, whatever, I'm a present.
Wow.
My presence is a present, okay? As always in the Ranking Things series, I took your suggestions, mostly through my Instagram. So if you want a better chance of being featured, definitely check out my Instagram. I post stories on there asking for suggestions all the time. And I also asked over on my Discord. I take Santa stupidly seriously, so let's go over this Christmas criteria. Today, I am prioritizing ho-ho-ho realism. Some of the laughs don't convince me. Beard realism. Do I trust him? Power level, and belly full of cheer. I also wrote down, if it is an unconventional approach, does my enjoyment of this character override my previous perception of Santa? So, it doesn't have to meet the criteria to be an S tier, but it's gotta be really well written. First up, we have Dora Santa. And even after all of these years, I remember his truly golden voice. Oh my gosh, he has such an amazing singing voice. But also, it's been so long since I watched Dora. My jaw dropped when I saw the theme song and how it zooms in on a computer and how Dora is just a computer game and this cursor shows up throughout. God, I need to do a Dora lore, but there's so many episodes! Also, I forgot about Benny, Isa, and Tico. I need to cover this series in 2024. It's too nostalgic for me not to. Now to get a bit harsher, his laugh sounded more like ha-ho-ho. It wasn't the worst, but it also wasn't the best. His design is so sweet. I do trust this man, but what really puts him over the top for me, what makes him a grade A Santa to me, is his golden singing voice, like I said previously. I don't know about his acting, but his singing is phenomenal. And don't get me started on power level. Dude is playing a guitar in gloves. That is not humanly possible. He is a god. Easy A tier. Also, I just found out there's a new Dora series premiering right now.
What?
I'll investigate that soon, but first I gotta focus on Santa, okay? Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, as a kid, I was too scared to watch this movie. They'd put it on at parties and I'd leave, no joke. Mom, they're playing that freaky Halloween movie that pretends to be a Christmas movie where they kill Santa. Please pick me up. I can't. But I recently watched this for the first time over on my Discord, and guys, Jack Skellington isn't evil. He's just a little creepy theater kid. He loves Christmas. And I actually really enjoyed this movie. I don't know why I thought that childhood fear would transfer over to adulthood, but that exposure therapy via Discord really... It was a good movie. I love that these demon kids are the true villains. Some would argue that it's the Oogie Boogie Man, but he's not all that, okay? Let me tell you. The only thing that stopped him from killing Santa was his gambling addiction.
One more roll of the dice ought to do it. What? Snake eyes?
Which was a wild plot point. I didn't know that was a part of the movie. Oh, but the Santa? The Santa in Nightmare Before Christmas? He's a bitch. He's mean to Jack, even though Jack just saved his life. But he got him into this mess. He just wanted to be like Santa.
Jack is a good boy.
It's not his fault Santa's power level in this is pathetically low. This Santa did nothing to defend himself and has no humility even after this humiliating experience. F tier Santa. This guy upsets me to look at on top of his shitty personality. Pick a struggle. Jimmy Neutron. I talked about this holiday special in my Jimmy Neutron lore video, but I have to say it again. I absolutely adore that this episode starts with the entire class defending Carl from Jimmy's non-believer ass. Because sometimes people are really mean to Carl, but in this episode, Cindy was like,
Jimmy, you made him cry. Like, that's your friend. That's so fucked up.
Also, basking in the warmth is a masterpiece. Great Christmas song, and I still die laughing at the fact that Miss Fowl is absolutely thrashing by the end. It fucking kills me. Now on to Santa. The scenery of his workshop is imaginative and fun, but why are all these elves the same? I mean, there's this one too, who's the boss, but even he is just an older version of the clones. It weirds me out, I don't like it. I liked the idea of Jimmy and Santa bonding over science, but Santa's dialogue was so weird.
What?
Why did Santa say brain blast? Why did they write Santa as an older Jimmy Neutron. Very bizarre choices. Also, why did he say ho 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 as more of a greeting than a laugh?
Ho, ho, ho!
There was nothing guttural about it. It wasn't ho ho ho. He legitimately said ho ho ho. Hey, what's up? Ho ho ho! That isn't a laugh. On the flip side, I do love his design. I will give them that. You wouldn't think there'd be a way to design a Santa that looks like Santa but still fits in the Jimmy Neutron style that isn't creepy. No, he's a cute old man. I actually appreciate this art of him. I also love the reveal that Jimmy has been on the naughty list, because that's deserved and justified. I talk about how terrible this kid is over on my Jimmy Neutron lore video. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out after this. One example of what a shithead he is in this episode when he scrambles Santa's atoms. Dude had an elementary schooler do 99% of his work that day because of an almost successful assassination attempt from that same elementary schooler. This is also an insult to Santa's power level, which is why this Santa is C tier. I really wanted to put him in B tier, but he's not worthy. Peppa Pig. They made Santa British!
No!
This is unacceptable. He doesn't sound like that. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, 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 ho. That's not Santa. He drinks milk, not tea. And his nose makes him look like a human, which is weird in this particular world. According to the Peppa Pig wiki, there are only a handful of humans. I legitimately don't think I speak British. What does this mean? Humans are railer leasing in Peppa Pig. What's the belief side humans are not part of open contacts? What? Santa? The Queen of England?
There is no Queen of England.
A pirate and cave people. This is alarming. I wish they just made these guys pigs or some other animals like the rest of the series. C for confusing. He's a nice guy, but I couldn't even focus on that. There are many canon Santas in Spongebob. My focus in this video will be on the live action one and the stop motion one, because those two got the most requests, and also I don't care about this guy. Although I will say, the power level of this Santa is on another level. He sleeps on the dark side of the moon and doesn't need oxygen to breathe. So that's actually pretty cool. That's pretty badass. Let's start with the live action Santa at the end of Christmas Who. I think this comment says it best. A bit of a freak. He's so real for that. He is so real for that. Relatable king. I also understand why he loses it, honestly. Throughout the years, there has never been a Christmas under the sea. Then all of a sudden, a squirrel moves there, introduces them to this custom, and all of a sudden, Santa has to deliver presents to 3.5 trillion more creatures if he's doing the whole ocean. Well, maybe just Bikini Bottom. So... I counted 50 creatures at least. Still maddening. His ho-ho-ho was very good. His beard, however, was very bad. Very bad beard. I call that a Party City beard. And like I already said, I love his crazy, silly, goofy laugh too, because he goes from a ho-ho-ho into the I love that for him. B tier. He would have been higher if he had a better beard, but he's iconic and I love him. He's near and dear to my heart. The stop motion Santa. I hate the Santa so much. He is just rancid and cursed to look at. He steals the Krabby Patty secret formula to give to Plankton because he was truly that easily bamboozled into thinking Plankton was nice and everyone else was naughty. Also, even if he was on the good list, maybe Santa shouldn't steal? Ho ho ho! Nick Cage, you've been a very good boy this year. What do you want for Christmas? The Declaration of Independence. Here you go! Ho ho ho! I killed the president! But Ugly Santa is also a coward. He runs away after SpongeBob risked his life for him. Sponge Robert has more Christmas cheer in his left toenail than this toenail of a human being? Has in his entire large body, which is supposed to be full of cheer, mind you. Fucking imposter. F tier, worst Santa. There is no Santa that will dethrone this Santa for being the worst Santa. Worst. Boo, boo. Klaus with the K. Klaus, I know it's Klaus. Came out in 2019 and is an instant classic. Fuck! Okay, sorry, I don't know how I haven't watched this until now, but okay. I wanted to know if this was critically acclaimed, and you bet your ass it is! I'm sorry, Jesus. One of the search results even said, why is Klaus so good? Yeah, what gave it the right? I Genuinely, and this is not a joke, can't wait to finish filming this so I can watch it again. I watched it alone for the first time. Thank you so much for recommending it to me, by the way. And now I have to show it to everyone I know. I can't be normal about this. You can't expect me to be normal about this. Anyway, I timestamped out the video, so if you haven't watched, I'm not spoiling the ending, but I am going to be talking about it. I very much encourage you to watch that and then come back. So our given circumstances for this movie is that the post office has like military level training. This man, who I believe runs the whole thing, he owns the whole post office industry, has a very spoiled son. He wants his son to learn the meaning of work, so he sends him up north to start a brand new post office. And if he doesn't get it up and running and he doesn't receive 6,000 letters within his first year, he's cut off from daddy's money. Merry Christmas. This Arctic area is crawling with crime and a generational family feud that's lasted hundreds of years. But I might just take my chances with all of that because the teacher slash fish butcher is my new wife. Sorry guys, I'm sorry to say. Gorgeous art style, this zoom in into the map transition, stunning. There's a man who lives in the woods. Klaus, the titular bitchular. And he's been making toys for years. Klaus saw a kid's drawing and decides to deliver a toy. I found this guy on TikTok that makes wooden toys that look similar to the toys that were seen in this movie. And they're just so magical. I might buy one day. Anyway, back on topic. All the other kids hear about this and are starting to write letters to him. He now found a purpose. This origin story makes sense to me. He has to sneak out in the night to deliver these toys without interception from the parents who only want to teach their kids how to hate. Remember this lovely teacher I told you about? She wanted to teach these kids, but none of their parents sent them to school. The sneakiness Santa possesses makes sense. Sure, Santa's a little rough, sending the postman to do his dirty work, but in his defense, he seems completely clueless as to how tough the job is.
What happened?
Not a word. You just sit there. Be all magical and awesome.
What?
In the beginning, these two barely communicate because the postman is so scared of Santa. Imagine being scared of Santa.
What does claustrophobic mean?
It means he's afraid of Santa Claus.
No, it doesn't. Ho, ho, ho!
He's making all these toys for kids. Think he's gonna hurt you? Idiot. From the reindeer to the coal to the naughty list. We all know the end result, but the execution of how it came to be was somehow still so original. Education and the threat of a higher power always watching you and only rewarding you if you're good almost completely reformed this town. And Santa even has a tragic backstory that works? Guys. And if that isn't enough, his laugh is phenomenal. So that's all I'm gonna say. But here's my reaction right after I watched.
Shut the fuck up. Don't look at me.
This is perfection. S tier. Finally. An S tier. A perfect Santa. My life as a teenage robot. Not a good start.
Bruh.
Santa is seen in a full body cast. And Jenny had to step in for him, delivering toys in record time. Does this make the creators of the show feel better than Santa himself? By writing him as a weak soy boy? By flaunting that their characters are supposedly stronger than the man, the myth, the legend? I'm appalled. I'm clutching my pearls. We're celebrating with Santa and we never felt so gay. Okay. I'm listening. I'll give this special another chance. Guys, it got worse. Jenny was mind-controlled for a year by this evil rich kid. I thought the day would be saved by Santa, but Jenny once again proved that she's stronger than him and then, spanked the kid? Dude, this is insane. I have to rewatch more of the show because I totally forgot how out of left field it can get. This Santa's an F tier though. They made him a punchline and I don't appreciate that.
I don't want that for him.
Coca Cola Santa. About a month ago, there was a commercial that Coca Cola was pushing that proved anyone could be Santa, playing out sweet moments between strangers. Aww. That's not the point of my video. Anyone can be Santa. Who's the real Santa? Also, this is the Coca-Cola YouTube, I believe. Over 4 million people subscribe to Coca-Cola content. Sounds about right. They posted this commercial 5 times. And I understand reposting it in different languages, but this was 5 times in English. Also, 8,700 views in 13 days. Ratio, Coca-Cola, ratio. I found this YouTube video that claims to be a Coca-Cola commercial, like the description looks very legit and everything, but there's no way this is real. Dude chugs a choke in
What?
Why do I always say that? Oh my god, what? This isn't the first time I said chugs a choke. I chug a choke.
A what?
Chugs a Coke. Dude chugs a Coke in one gulp, then executes Santa's usual line in the most depressed way possible. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. This had to be an Adult Swim sketch, right? I'm so confused. Anyway, I was gonna rate Coca Cola at F tier anyway. The aesthetic is spot on, but that doesn't hide the fact that they turned Santa into their mascot, which I don't think he agreed to. The dude makes toys and gives them away for free. Don't use him to promote capitalism. I know that's what his image is associated with, but when you look at what he does, it's the exact opposite. Also, he drinks milk all night. Why would he then mix it with Coca Cola? That sounds like it would fuck up his tummy, which is supposed to be filled with Christmas cheer. You guys are really trying me. Rise of the Guardians. I somehow lived through everyone's obsession with this on Tumblr, and I haven't seen it for myself. If I didn't make these videos, I would be the most uncultured person in the world. The Tooth Fairy thirsting over Jack was hilarious, but I also wasn't ready for Jack Frost's voice to be so low. I thought he'd be like a boy band tenor. Santa, or North is also his name, goes on a whole monologue about how he brings wonder to the world. And I'm in love with this man. I am in love with this man. You guys knew I'd like Hot Santa. Is he an unconventional approach? Absolutely. The elves don't even make the toys. He just feels bad for them. It messes with my Christmas canon, but this is an example of my enjoyment overriding. Also, I think that's just further proof that this guy is really kind-hearted. These elves are on his payroll to just sit there and look cute. Also, I love the dynamic of this group. They're the only guardians of my galaxy, all right? Wait, what did they just say? Teeth contain memories? Damn, after all these years, I actually wasn't spoiled on this movie at all. Most of this was completely new to me. S tier. I hear a lot of people theorize that Klaus is the unofficial origin story of this version of Santa, and as much as I want to believe that, I'm not sold on that theory. First of all, they don't sound anything alike, and second, and most importantly, where's his wife? Unless you want to theorize that the Tooth Fairy is his wife, but that's a huge stretch. Rudolph. Rankin Bass Rudolph. I didn't know that it was called Rankin Bass's Rudolph. I kept seeing people be like, Rankin Rudolph. I'm like, all right, I'll rank the Rudolph. I'm ranking all the Santas. I'll rank the Rudolph Santa. No need to be, so aggressive about it. But that's what it's called. After the stop-motion Rudolph Santa, I'm also going to be ranking Rudolph 1998 Santa with this boy band Rudolph with the little quiff of hair with the little, swoopy bangs. But first, the stop motion. I can't get into all of that right now. Most dramatic way to start a Christmas movie. You have headlines showing natural disaster, peril, and extreme lack of Christmas cheer, before cutting to these little clay creatures. Snowman Sam is sweet and jolly, so my expectations were high. I'm like, this Santa's gonna rock. This Santa's gonna rock and roll. First time we see Santa, and he's not fat. This is purposeful. Mrs. Claus and Snowman Sam are both like, eat, 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 this is your brand. He has to put on weight really quickly before his most active day of the year. It's like reverse hibernation. I like his puffy eyebrows, his ho-ho-ho was really good. Aesthetically, this Santa's killing it. He's so tiny and cute. Then Rudolph enters the picture. Donner is Rudolph's dad. Who's his mom? They never give the mom's name. It annoys me that we're never introduced to Rudolph's mom properly. Santa and Donner, Rudolph's own dad, are bullying him right out of the gate, which is bad. I will say the sound his nose makes is grating. It hurts my ears, but I still wouldn't bully a baby over it. The casual mention of the abominable snowman before moving on was hilarious. Oh yeah, and there's also this
50-foot demon that lives among us. He wants to destroy us all.
But enough about that. Who's that kid with the weird nose? We meet Herbie the blonde elf that doesn't like making toys. He wants to be a dentist, but none of them have teeth. The elves are assholes to Herbie, just like how the reindeer are assholes to Rudolph. What kind of ship is Santa running here? Isn't he supposed to encourage niceness? Isn't he supposed to know when people are being naughty? That's his whole thing. All of Santa's workers are so desperate for his approval. The elves sing a whole song about how they're Santa's elves. Santa, while these elves are singing to him, harumphs, rolls his eyes, says he doesn't have time for this. He hates the elves' song. What a miserable, cantankerous old fuck. He was practically booing them. It isn't that hard to sit for a 30-second song. I do like Mrs. Claus, though. She's like, dude, what's gotten into you? She's perfect. No notes for her. You're gonna see that all of the Mrs. Clauses are so cute, even when their Santas suck ass. This isn't even a bad day for Santa. Like, I thought maybe he's just having an off day. No, he goes up to Donner and he's like,
you should be ashamed of that kid.
Why should he be ashamed of Rudolph? Because he has a glowing nose. Even though he was the only child reindeer that could fly. He shouldn't have helped you on that foggy Christmas Eve. You should have used your massive King Neptune-ass dome to reflect the light, you miserable bald bitch. This is Old Testament Santa. We meet Clarice, who's Rudolph's girlfriend. She's very sweet. She's like the first person to actually encourage this kid. The ladies are carrying this special. It pisses me off that for the most part, though, Rudolph's mom is a nameless pushover. What is your name so I can properly scold you for not sticking up for your son against your husband? Later in the special, they actually called her Mrs. Donner. Mrs. Donner? You took his first name? Girl, stand up! I will say, though, it was pretty cool that Mrs. Donner and Clarice went out to look for Rudolph, even though Donner was telling her not to because she's just a woman, which made her cry. There are so many plot points in this movie. It moves so slow, even though they're constantly throwing new shit at us. There's sentient toys, which live on the island of misfit toys. Santa's doing nothing about this. Like I said, Santa has been absolutely merciless for years. This guy has issues. Rudolph returns after years, like he fully grows up to be a man reindeer, and the other reindeer, who presumed he was dead, waste no time in making fun of him again. They're not like, oh, welcome home. They're like, ha, you look just as ugly as ever, you pathetic little shit. What does Santa say? He says, oh, your dad went out to look for you, and I need him. So Santa didn't even say welcome back to Rudolph. Santa was about to cancel Christmas because of the weather. This guy is not only a jerk, but also weak. Santa didn't apologize. The reindeer didn't apologize. The only person that apologized to Rudolph was his dad. Santa didn't even deliver the toys. He just threw them into the chimneys. How is he supposed to eat the milk and cookies? More like Saint Dickolas, not my Santa. Now for 1998's Rudolph. Right off the bat, A+ Santa outfits. Green suspenders, ugly Christmas sweater accent on the sleeves, and the mistletoe in Mrs. Claus's hair, adorable. Love them. Holly jolly drip mess. So the first thing I thought, who are these fairies? I mean, I love them already, but who are they? Dude, they're the sprites of the Northern Lights. Aurora, Sparkle, Glitter, and Twinkle. I love them so much. And in this movie, Rudolph is not Donner's son, he's Blitzen's son. How did Blitzen get those scars? Rudolph's mom already stands up for him a lot more in this version. Santa sticks up for his elves even when they fuck up tremendously by wrecking the villain Stormella's ice sculptures. Prancer is a girl in this version, meaning not all of Santa's main reindeer are men. I already trust him a lot more because of this decision. An unsexist Santa? Sign me up. I like Santa's mustache curl and gloves, but more importantly, I love that Santa reassures Rudolph.
Was it so hard? Was it so hard to make him do that?
He gives Rudolph a scarf and a jolly old man wink. I'm gonna cry. The Santa's so sweet. He sings that everyone is a part of his extended family, and the song was a bop. I wrote that the song was a bop. Honestly, this was one of the earlier movies I watched. I forgot how it goes, but I remember it being good. In this rendition, Rudolph's girlfriend is Zoe. Why does Rudolph have to have a girlfriend in every movie? I didn't realize that was such an essential part of his story. A lot of other silly shit happens, like Rudolph and Zoe running away. We meet this New York snow squirrel, Leonard the polar bear, and Pangy, an evil horny penguin henchman.
Naughty, naughty.
But all you need to know is Santa didn't step in during the reindeer games. Even though he knew the judge's call was bullshit, he said that there's nothing he can do about it, which shows he has a passive bystander effect, which disappointed me. And on top of that, unfortunately, his ho 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 laugh isn't guttural enough for me. It sounds a little forced, which is why he gets this high A placement instead of S. Definitely an unconventional approach. Somebody suggested that I download a Santa app, so I fucking did. Let's get into it. This is my first time using it. It's just been sitting on my home screen, and I've had to exercise the most amount of restraint ever, but let's get into it. This is the first time I'm going on this. What a jolly loading screen. Santa, oh, that Doesn't look like a real beard. Beard realism, I'm gonna have to dock points, but let's call him, okay? I'm an adult female. Oh, wow, okay. Putting in all this information about me so that they can know all of this information about me. That's exciting. One of the previews for this app on the App Store says, Santa knows everything about your child. Jimmy, you really like pizza, don't you? How did he know? Most people like pizza. Anyway, oh look, I choose what food I like. I like mac and cheese. Can I just select all of these? It's like, oh, Athena, it seems to me that I know that you like burritos, cake, candy, chicken nuggets, chips, chocolate, cookies, cupcakes. I'm choosing every single one because I want to say if he'll just sit there and say it. And it's true, I do like all of these. Damn. Hell yeah, I love Angry Birds. Everyone knows that about me. Athena loves Angry Birds. I don't have any strong opinions one way or the other. Yeah, Dora the Explorer. Let's put Dora the Explorer. Listening to the music, making selfies. I love making selfies. If there's one thing people know about me is that I love making selfies. Oh my gosh, guys. I have a feeling I'm gonna get a call in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds.
Guys!
Hello?
Ho, ho, ho! Good afternoon. This is Santa.
Hi!
Who am I speaking to?
Oh, well, you know.
Super! I'm lucky to have you on the phone.
Super!
I've heard from my elves that you're 25 years old.
Oh yeah, I put in my birthday. Sorry, I was like... What? Yeah, I'm 25. Is that what you asked?
Excellent. I just wanted to call you and personally wish you a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Santa.
I hope you're enjoying your gifts. Ho, ho, ho! It was jolly nice talking to you, but I have to go
Wait,
now.
but you know my...
I have to go
No.
to find out who's naughty or nice.
But what about my favorite foods?
Bye-bye.
Santa, my favorite foods! Santa, please!
Hello there. I just wanted to remind you of something very important. Do you know what it is?
This is an ad,
Please
but...
remember to say please when you're asking for something and thank you when you receive it. It's like...
Oh, no thanks, no thank you. Oh, they're advertising another Santa calling app, and that one was way worse. Okay, well, I'm glad to know that it could get worse. Let's do a video call, guys.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
I really enjoyed reading your letter, and it's good that you've included your wish list.
Okay.
My elves will make sure that the right gifts... Only nice children will get gifts.
What's my name? Your belly doesn't look that full of merriment and jolliness. Your beard looks fake. It doesn't look like the person who's acting the live action part is actually saying the words. I'm not convinced. I'm really quite sad. So many fucking ads on this shit. Because they know, they're like, this person is going to use this app once and then delete it, so we are going to get every penny from them. Oh, boo. Oh, ew, gross, and stinky. That was an F-tier Santa. Santa Claus is coming to town. Another Rankin bass. I was hesitant to the idea that Santa wasn't always an old man, but to hear that this ketchup-dipped french fry went to jail for delivering toys, I'm intrigued. Then I watched the special and I only get 2 things out of it. 1, he's very creepy asking kids to sit on his lap and give him a kiss on the cheek. And 2, I am in love with his wife. She is radiant, she's beautiful, she's stunning, she cares about people so deeply. She's a Disney princess, and she should have married me and not him. I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was Ranking Your Crushes Part 3. Oh, and also the main bad guy, the greedy mayor who outlawed giving toys. I thought he would change his ways or get punished, but he just died of natural causes off screen. I was hoping he'd die of natural clauses. Santa Claus is pummeling the mayor, and here comes Mrs. Claus with the folding chair! But to reiterate, the main conflict of this movie went nowhere. They literally dropped it like it was nothing. Oh, the mayor, the main conflict of the movie? He died. I'm in between B and C tier, because other than that creepy lap-sitting song, he was a cute Santa. I think maybe he just doesn't know social cues. He did live in almost total isolation. And I love the silly detail of the seals teaching him to laugh, and that's why he has the ho-ho-ho laugh. And I'm in love with his wife. best Mrs. Claus ever. B tier. B tier for Ginger Santa. I don't know about you guys, but I want to rank some more best with The Year Without Santa Claus. In this universe, Santa hires elves and gnomes, so that's already pretty different. Santa Claus is just feeling really down on himself because Christmas cheer is not up. And he's like, you know what? I don't feel well anyway. I'm not gonna push myself out with a little cold if you guys aren't even gonna freaking like Christmas. I'm taking this year off. Fast forward to the end of the special, Mother Nature scolds her son, Heat Miser and Snow Miser, who by far have the best song of the entire special. But it's very clear that at this point they were ready for the special to end, because what she says and their respective responses make no sense. You have to allow some snow, Snow Miser. No, not the exact thing I wanted. And you, Heat Miser, need to have a warm day. No, that's exactly what I asked for. How did they not notice that? That's such a huge mistake. But anyway, A+ ho 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 from the Santa. The singing could use a little work, but technically he's supposed to have a cold, so I'll let it slide. His speaking voice is fantastic, and it has a twist ending. There was no Year Without Santa Claus. I know, the title lied to us. Even still, this Santa is very middle of the road. B tier for this Santa. He was kind, but it was also really sad to see him down on himself. He didn't think the kids cared about him, and a single tear rolled down his cheek, and I may have been tearing up, okay? And now for the live action A Year Without Santa Claus. Yeah, there's another one. All right, who's the live action Santa? John Goodman? Again? The North Pole setting was really adorable and cozy until they pan over to the Toy Expo. A giant corporate mess. There we see Carson Kressley? Fat-shaming Santa? Maybe this is just because the version I'm watching has at most 3 pixels, but the beard looks pretty real to me. 10 out of 10 beard realism. This Toy Expo is supposed to show how consumerism is killing this holiday, but I will say, the Be Goth toy line is a great idea.
We'll take 20.
The only reason Santa stormed away from her booth was when she revealed her secret agenda of making money. And Santa essentially screamed, "Fuck money," in her face. Based king. This Santa is admittedly behind on the times. Like, listen dude, there's nothing wrong with Slinkies and Jack in the Boxes, but you can't be like rolling your eyes and raging over the fact that kids like video games. Oh no, they're so violent. Santa, it's not real. I'm saying to Santa that something's not real. That's funny, that's good. Mrs. Claus is wonderfully characterized, but way too young. Way too young. This should have been Santa's daughter. If that isn't bad enough, Snow Miser and Heat Miser are both surrounded by bikini girls for some reason. Also, their remake of the song is an insult. Heat Miser's part in particular is an assault on the ears. This is where they really start to take creative liberties. Santa wants to retire to a place called Mythopolis. And if he wasn't Tim Allen's The Santa Claus, he would have been able to. But here in the real world, you have to stay in a job you hate and neglect your mental health. Wow, I'm really feeling the magic of Christmas now. Although I will say, the introduction of Greek mythology in this world was not something I was expecting. Here we have one of Santa's elves falling in love with Artemis. We have Medusa flirting with Hercules. And we have Athena's sanity slipping away. If you're new to this channel, I'm Athena. That's the joke. Santa rightfully gets mad at almost everyone in the movie. His power level and attitude make sense for this specific set of circumstances. However, I can't get over how young his wife is, and how much of a train wreck this movie is. C tier, just because he's not mean Santa Paws. Disney. The beard realism is lacking. I'm gonna feel really bad if I say this about someone and it turns out that that's their actual beard. I don't have a beard, so actually, you know what I'll do? You know what I'll do for next year? I'll get like a real lineup of mall Santas and I'll be able to just like touch their faces. No one's gonna agree to do that, actually. As usual, Mrs. Claus is perfect. I have never met an unperfect Mrs. Claus. This Santa is honestly pretty spectacular. I love this guy's attitude. I love that he sings with the elves. I love that he dances with his wife. I love that he cares for people so deeply. I even love his voice. I just wish they went with a different aesthetic, like a full head of hair, a full, like long, luscious locks for Mr. Claus. This setup is very similar to Annie Back on Earth. there's an orphanage run by a very evil Miss Hannigan-like lady. Honestly, this lady's worse than Miss Hannigan. Speaking of the sad orphan plot, I feel like I've seen this kid be abused in multiple TV shows and movies. That's such a weird typecast. This dog doll was brought to life by the magical Christmas icicle. And Santa named the dog Paws, and now they're best friends, and I'm crying my eyes out. I love Santa, I love him, I love Mrs. Claus, I love Paws. I love them all so much. Santa Paws was voiced by Mitchell Musso. That's a really weird fact. I wish I didn't know that. So I thought this was a very powerful Santa. Look at how he blows the candles on this cake. But apparently not only did he get his powers from the same source that Paws got his powers, but he also wears it around his neck in this necklace. When this magical necklace gets stolen, he loses his magic, and he also gets amnesia from the car hitting him. And the reindeer also can't fly without this icicle magic. Seems like maybe they should find a permanent solution instead of wearing it around their necks. Can't he just eat it? Or would the magic kill him from inside? This movie is kind of a fucking downer. The kids are being abused, the dog lost its magic, turned back to a doll, and is about to be incinerated, Santa is dying, and I am crying. I just wanted a cute movie about a Santa dog. The ending was bonkers. Paws almost died again because they saved him from the incinerator, but then he gave up his magic to save Santa, so he almost died twice. And then with the power of the icicle mixed with Santa's tears, Paws is alive. And he's no longer a puppy, he's an adult. And now I hear Mitchell Musso's voice. Santa. Which took me out of this incredibly emotional moment. The ending tied up almost every loose end. I just wish Miss Hannigan was fucking killed. I wish the reindeer ran over her. Oh my god, the actor killed it. She really, like, Joffrey level evil. Oh my god, I hated her. I'm gonna say A tier. He embodies Christmas. I just hate how he got his powers. I hate that icicle origin story. I hate it so much. The Fairly Odd Parents Christmas special. This episode really fucked up my perception of a reasonable amount of gifts because I was spoiled rotten. And when I was a kid, I was still so bitter. I didn't have mountains of toys like Timmy Turner. I'm better than Timmy. I deserve them. I don't even have fairies that can give me whatever I want at any second. Why does he get them and I don't? This is bullshit. Okay, the Santa. At full power, his beard is one of the best to me personally. I prefer a curly Santa beard, so I love that they leaned into that. Here's what really messes up this dude's rating, because I love that he's a badass. I love that he takes no shit and can fight a little bit. But I hate that most of the year, he's this depressed accountant. What's up with all these sad Santas? Also, blatant disrespect in regards to power level. He is only powerful. He only looks like this on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day because he borrows magic from every other magical creature. Cool for the story they're trying to tell, but I hate it. He is magical all year round, and his factory isn't this pollution machine. In the words of Mr. Crocker, I think I've made that joke before. H-Bomber guy, please don't come after me for self-plagiarism. I wrote the joke. I just used it a bunch of times. Team Umizoomi. As some of you may know, I covered Team Umizoomi in my lore series. And this Santa angered me beyond belief. I'm sorry, I'm annoying and take Christmas and Christmas specials way too seriously, and the casting of Santa is killing me! But now that I've seen other Santas I would throw coal at, maybe I was being too harsh on him. I wasn't. This rendition insults his power level, and more importantly, his beard. This is the worst beard I've ever seen. Wise old blue eyes, and cute tiny little glasses cannot mask the fact that Nickelodeon was on a budget apparently. C tier. I really thought he'd go an F, but a lot of these other stinkers really surprised me. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. I also never watched this one because, you guessed it, I was too scared. 12 minutes in and the titular event happens. Spoiler alert, but yeah. The grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
I thought you were kidding!
And the execution was more brutal than I ever could have expected. For starters, this song was playing, narrating everything. And if that wasn't enough, the characters spoke the lyrics immediately after. She's been drinking too much eggnog. You've been drinking too much eggnog. And they begged her, please don't go. Please don't go. God, I hated that. And knowing that this sing-songy back and forth was gonna lead to her murder was haunting. Her grandson witnessed the hit and run, and he was telling his family and no one believed him, as Grandma was left for dead, face down in the snow. Worse than that, Grandma was missing for a whole year, almost an entire year. It was actually like September. Grandpa copes with this by singing a song all about how she's having sex with Elvis in heaven. This movie is unreal. I should have watched it sooner. We finally see Santa, and it's revealed that Grandma lost her memory in the accident. You know what would have helped? If Santa was actually magical and could have healed her? Or maybe just returning her to her family so she can slowly start to recollect her life instead of keeping her in isolation with... Holy shit, there are 2 other bedridden elderly people here. How many people has Santa hit with this fucking sleigh? It also seems as though this Santa has no idea who Grandma is until her grandson reaches out to him. So let me get this straight. Not only does this Santa not magically give her memories back, but even weaker than that, he can't identify human beings? Isn't that his whole thing? Knowing everyone on Earth and giving them presents? Or is it just for kids? And then when those kids grow up, they mean nothing to him. In Santa's defense, he did leave a note, but the evil hot cousin stole it. He was in such a rush to deliver toys, he didn't mind kidnapping, and he didn't even bother to knock on the door. Dude, the Santa sucks. Yeah, wait a minute. How were you not able to be like, oh, this old lady coming from this direction. Maybe the people in that house will know her. Clearly he had that foresight because he left a note, but he couldn't have knocked on the door. And aside from just his sketchy personality, his appearance doesn't even give off warm-hearted and kind. There is no rosiness in his cheeks or a twinkle in his eye. If he asked me to sit on his lap, I would pepper spray his ass. And then I'd call the cops, and the cops would thank me because they've been trying to track him down for kidnapping and hit and runs. Oh shit, that was actually a plot point? Well good, he can't keep getting away with this. The only positive is that his ho-ho-ho is perfect. And that almost pisses me off more. Because there have been Santas that are perfect in every other way, and then can't ho-ho-ho, but you give this perfect ho-ho-ho to convict Santa, to Santa on the run. So apparently evil cousin Mel put reindeer nip in the fruitcake, purposely trying to get rid of her own grandma in order to get her money. Truly cold-blooded. A++ villain. This courtroom scene was also crazy because this kid got the jury to eat a year-old fruitcake. This jury's gonna die of food poisoning, and then Jake can finally be like his hero, Santa, because they're both criminals. At the end, Grandma even got ran over again. Sequel, anyone? I didn't know so many Santas were written as powerless betas. Little Athena was right to not watch this because it would have crushed her. F tier. Let's talk about one of my favorite Santas of all time. TikTok Santa. I love Santa J. Claus on TikTok. If my asshole 7th grade English teacher didn't ruin Santa for me, I would have still been believing in him solely because of this TikTok account. He's joyous. He's cheerful. He donates to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. He perfected the ho-ho-ho. He participates in memes so cutely. He's just so wholesome. And I hope this never ages badly because, like I said, my sanity is relying on this guy being as wholesome as he seems, okay? So if you find out anything, just actually don't tell me. I'm just letting you know from now, do not tell me. He's sweet and kind and I trust him, and obviously beard realism. This is the best beard. This is the best beard I've ever seen in my life. Ooh, so I'm putting him above North from Guardians of the Galaxy. Hello. Let's restart. I'm putting him above North just because he's not in The Rise of the Guardians enough for me. But I am putting him below Klaus because Klaus is the best Christmas movie of all time. Like, of all time. So that's another S-tier Santa, which we know is actually a really hard thing to achieve, but he achieves it. Now for what a lot of you might have been waiting for, we're moving on to Tim Allen's The Santa Claus. Would it surprise you to know that I've never seen this movie? The fact that Santa died upset me because I'm an actual baby. Divorced parents' kid doesn't like his father, I'm immediately triggered, not a good start. The Santa fell off the roof and died, as all the commercials showed. You killed him! I would shut my eyes and close my ears for that commercial. I'm a baby. In Santa's suit there was a business card that pretty much explained if anything happens to him, put on the suit and the reindeers will know what to do. So this implies that every Santa during every Christmas had this card on them because they're prepared to die. Wait, holy shit, his hand moved. Charlie, do you know how to dial 911?
Sure, 911.
Ah, shut the fuck up. It's too late. He disintegrated. But you're telling me, sorry, wait 1 second, hold up. You're telling me there's a whole lineage of Santas, and he isn't able to ask them for advice in the spirit realm like Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I'm furious.
The elves have no reaction to their former boss dying. It's almost as if they were expecting it. Did he really fall off that roof, or did he just really want to retire? Oh, ew, gross. We got a "you look good for your age" joke. And then the child responds back, "Thanks, but I'm seeing someone." Ha 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 ha. Fuck your stupid 10,000-year-old that looks like a kid anime logic. Fuck whatever writer made a child actor say that. I don't care if it's not that deep to some of you, it's that deep to me. This dude, Scott Calvin, keeps denying reality and the fact that he's Santa now, but he should have immediately been thanking his lucky stars, because if this didn't happen to him, there was not a chance in shit his son would have any relationship with him. And to the writers, if I didn't already have a bone to pick with you, please don't project your daddy issues onto Santa Claus, because I use Santa Claus to cope with mine. Soon after this, there was a bring your parent to school day so they can show off their job, what they do for a living. Pretty convenient timing. And this kid tells the class that his dad is the Santa Claus. And he goes over the series of events that happened to them. I am physically ill watching this. Because A, this kid's gonna be bullied for the rest of his life. And B, seeing Scott Calvin try so hard to backpedal and save his son from this public humiliation as his ex-wife and her new husband look on in horror. Wow, this is a psychological thriller. I gotta stop saying that about the mildest shit ever. This meme accurately describes me. This is genuinely how I am watching this. The Santa Claus is a horror movie to me. Scott starts to turn into Santa comically fast. I saw this clip in the commercials all the time. That's actually how it is in the movie. I don't feel safe with this Santa. The parents, rightfully so, share this feeling, because as kids in the park start randomly thinking he's Santa and lining up to sit on his lap, this looks bad. And he's not even full Santa yet. He's just Santa-ish. How on earth did these kids know? But back to the parents, they are horrified. They think Scott's lost it, massively putting on weight and growing a beard to trick his own child. But it turns out if Scott's lost it, so have they, because they both monologue about when they stopped believing in Santa.
Boy, I really wanted a mystery date game.
I was 3. And it was an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle.
Who gives a shit? Oh, also, Scott lost visitation rights. Imagine being Santa and losing visitation rights to see your own kid. Looks like you're gonna have to skip that house. That's not something Santa does. Okay, after that, he's accidentally on the run, because him and his son teleport to the North Pole. So the police are on Scott's ass for kidnapping. So naturally, the armed elf military fly in to save him. What is happening? In the end, the mom and stepdad see him as Santa as much as they really wanted to deny it, but they couldn't when they saw him fly away. Actually, that's when the stepdad accepted it. Scott Calvin's ex-wife accepted it a lot faster, before she even saw him do anything magical, to the point where I thought she was gonna leave her new husband for her ex just because he's Santa now. That would've been fucking hilarious. I almost wish that happened. But no, she continues to scold her ex-husband / co-parent, who just so happens to be Santa now. If I were living her reality, I would check myself into a room with soft walls on all 4 sides. I fumbled the bag with Santa. Santa is a jerk. The magic of Christmas is dead, and I'm no longer my son's favorite parent. Let me know if I should watch the other 2 movies and There's also a TV show, apparently. There's a TV show because Scott Calvin is now retiring as Santa and is trying to find a new Santa. Let me know if you want to see me watch that. I mean, I will for a video, but not for enjoyment. F tier. Through the years, I lost my sense of sanity. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm a bit of a Simon Cowell when it comes to my Santas, as you guys saw. I got really worked up. Next week is Lion Guard lore. Oh my gosh, that is going to be a time. Week after, I'm reading this. Don't ask me why. Have a great day, butt lovers. Bye!